week's chapter of Naruto Gaiden. Sarada, after a long, agonizing wait, finally meets her father, Sasuke Uchiha, and the encounter predictably ends in heartbreak. Shin Uchiha and his father also prepare for the rebirth of the Akatsuki. For those expecting Sarada Uchiha to be suddenly decapitated by Sasuke, prepare to be disappointed, but prepare to get excited for the introduction of a ton of new villains in this week's chapter. First, I want to talk about Shin Uchiha's father. This guy has an awesome design. You remember Danzo? You remember how he put all those Sharingan eyes in his arm? Well, imagine taking that to the next level. This guy has Sharingan eyes all over his body, all over his bald head, and he looks creepy as hell, and he's pretty awesome. And he seems to have like his own army of these Uchiha soldiers, which I'm guessing are actually created from Zetsu's cells. They're very similar to the Zetsu army. Maybe he actually collected some pieces from the Ten Tails and was able to create this weird clone army for his own use. Why? We're just going to have to continue and watch. They do mention that Kaguya was creating an army for something, and I think this is really interesting that they're actually bringing back Kaguya, because, again, we actually need some more backstory for this character, and this whole Naruto Gaiden thing would be a really great way to introduce that. At the very end of the chapter, Shin Uchiha and his father and their entire group of Uchiha warriors begun this massive assault, getting ready to attack Naruto and Sasuke and trying to capture Sarada. But of course, Naruto is able to block all of them with his big Kurama attacks. The big face comes out of nowhere, swallows everyone, protecting them from all the big attacks as Sasuke goes onto the attack against that one bald guy. And it looks so awesome, especially the way the stitches start to open up and his eyes start to activate his Mangekyo Sharingan. It looks really creepy, and his eyes look almost identical to Shin's. Maybe he has this ability where he can share all these different Sharingan abilities, like he's connected to all of these different, like, weird, brand new Uchiha Zetsu clone things. The other part of this chapter is all about Sarada meeting her father and being completely disappointed about not really learning anything. Nothing is accomplished from her meeting her father. She doesn't learn anything. He's being all secretive and ninja-y because that's just the way Sasuke is. And even Sakura shows up at the very end of the chapter. So we have all of these characters who are getting ready to converge at once. All these big battle scenes are getting ready to take place. And considering there's all these different members of the Uchiha clan or the weird Zetsu-y, clone-y things, whatever the hell they are, it just means that we're probably going to get some action scenes from a lot of the other characters, and I think that's going to be awesome. Also, I didn't really care for the character of Chocho too much in the previous chapters, but I love the fact that immediately when she saw Sasuke, her first thought was maybe that could actually be her real father. She's continuing on this quest to find a replacement for Choji, and she's going to be disappointed in learning that that's just not the case. It's not going to happen, Chocho. It's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream to nowhere. So what's the rundown on this week's chapter of Naruto Gaiden, the rebirth of the Akatsuki son? This is the big reason to check out this week's chapter. Anything that involves, like, the villains in this arc, like, I'm completely on board. I want to learn a lot more about these guys. I especially love that one flashback sequence with all of the Kages getting to see each other, and just being reminded again, like, who the new Kages are. You know, I completely forgot that Kuratsuchi, who is the daughter of Kitsuchi, is actually the brand new Tsuchi Kage. I think that's pretty awesome, and hopefully we'll get to see these guys in action, but at the same time, I still want to see more of the new characters. And it still really surprises me that most of this new arc, again, is devoted entirely to the Uchiha clan. I mean, the whole thing is based around the rebirth of the Akatsuki and this huge group of, like, Uchiha clan worshippers and their weird clone group and everything, and it's all based around that. It's very cultist and very creepy. Then, of course, you have the whole Sarada subplot with Sasuke, and then you have Boruto, who's just sort of hanging out back in the village. I guess we'll get a lot of FaceTime with him when we finally get to Boruto, the movie. What I will say is this week's chapter was action-packed and a lot of fun. It was a very short chapter, and it felt like I read it in like a split second, but when we finally got to that moment with the Akatsuki, like, getting ready to start their invasion, and the fact that they have, like, the ability to use Kamui just like Obito and Kakashi, and they could just immediately get right into the battle, just shows how dangerous these guys are going to be, how they can just appear from out of nowhere, and they're going to start fighting, and just that final panel with Sasuke charging that one guy, just, oh, I'm so excited to see what's going to happen there. This was a really great setup, action-packed, really just crazy chapter. All the Sarada stuff is incredibly emotional, is going to affect people in a lot of different ways, but I'm more interested in this whole rebirth of the Akatsuki plan, why they've existed, have they existed even longer than we've realized, have these guys actually been in the shadows and just like biding their time to attack, have they been waiting for the defeat of Kaguya? We're just going to have to wait and see. What I will say is, this was pretty freaking exciting. It's the rebirth of the Akatsuki, and you guys should get excited. So I'm going to give this week's chapter right here a 4 out of 5. It was a really solid read. I'm really glad we got to see the first confrontation between Sarada and Sasuke. These brand new Akatsuki guys seem really, really cool. I can't wait to see how this is going to tie into Kaguya. This is just some exciting stuff, and it's a great time to be a Naruto fan. So check it out, guys. Naruto Gaiden, it's awesome. So, I liked this chapter a lot, especially all the stuff with the Akatsuki guys. But what about you? Did you read this week's chapter of Naruto Gaiden? Did you have a favorite scene? What did you think of the encounter between Sarada and Sasuke? And what's the deal with the rebirth of Akatsuki? What's the real plan? Do you guys have any theories about these guys? Why they exist? Who this bald guy is? Could he actually be a character that we've seen before? Is he someone completely new? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it, share it with all of your friends, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. You should also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And remember, we also have a brand new podcast show. It's pretty freaking awesome. Both me and Christian talk about a lot of cool things, like your mom. Am I lying? Well, you're just gonna have to watch and find out. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.